Hey guys. Okay, so I'm really happy right now because this is the fourth video I filmed today. Usually I can only get like one video film like a week, and in one day I did four videos, and that was really awkward. It was like four videos. That's because I had a half day today, so it's only 3 o'clock, and so I've been able to get tons of videos done, whereas usually I'd be in class, so that's really exciting. So yeah, anyway, as you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some babysitting tips. So, okay, I have babysat for, I want to say, I think it's been a year, yeah, because on Halloween it was like a year that I'd babysat because I remember babysitting the little girl that I babysit still now on Halloween. And that's like when we first kind of started babysitting. Well, I started babysitting. And yeah, I love it. It's really fun for me. I love it because it's not like a hard job where I just have to sit there and do something boring. It's fun. It's kind of hard and tiring at times, but it's really fun and I get lots of money. So that's exciting. Well, not lots of money, like I get under minimum wage. I get $7 an hour, but for me that's a lot of money because if I didn't babysit, I wouldn't make any money. I'm going to go ahead and get started because this is going to be a really long video. So I kind of separated them into like kind of tips, like sections of tips and then little tips within those tips. So yeah, the first one is be prepared, and this is also me talking about, that was weird, also me talking about, this is also going to be how to get a babysitting job. So this section. So the first thing is be prepared by taking a CPR class and a first aid class. In the year that I babysat, I have never had to use CPR, first aid, thank God, or first aid, you know, like bandages and stuff like that, but never CPR, thank God. But you really want to make sure you know how to do CPR and just basic first aid things because you never know what could happen. And first of all, you have someone's life in your hands. I mean, when you're babysitting, that's someone's life. And usually someone young that usually doesn't know how to, you know, kind of take care of themselves. So you're kind of the person taking care of them. And their parents are trusting you with their lives. And I think it's good to know what you're doing because I feel like that'd be extremely scary if you're in the situation and you don't know what to do. So yeah, definitely go to one of those classes. And also it looks good because, and it's good because you can get paid more if you are a qualified babysitter by having those type of credentials. Okay, so the first thing is how to get a job sort of within that be prepared. So first you take the CPR and first aid thing. So what I did to get the job though, you know, because okay, being prepared is great, but you need a job. What I did was put up flyers in my community saying need a babysitter, call Orly, and then I put my cell phone number. Or no, not my cell phone number, my home number. I'm sorry, my home number. You don't want to put your cell phone number because you don't want random creepers calling your cell phone. Your home phone, at least your parents can deal with them then. But yeah, make sure it's okay with your parents. I don't want anyone going up and like posting their you know, number all around like their town if their parents don't want them to. But if your parents let you, like my parents did, just write your first name, not your last name, anything like that. Don't give away any of your personal information. But and then say some of your qualifications. I said great with kids of all ages, also good with pets, you know, because it's good if someone has pets, like the girl I babysit has a pet, and it's good if the person, you know, that wants you to babysit knows that you're good with animals. So yeah, definitely just do that. That's the only way. Oh, also make business cards. I have business cards too. So if like your mom has a friend that has kids and you see them, oh hey, oh your kids are so cute. If you ever need a babysitter, I like to babysit, give them your card, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, always have business cards ready. And that's basically the best way I can recommend to get the job. Okay, then the first thing, or not, I keep saying the first thing, but like in being prepared, know where the parents are when they go out. If they're on a date at a movie theater, get the movie theater's number or have their cell phone number. Just get a way to be in contact with them and you know where they are and when they'll be home and stuff like that because you don't want to be in a situation that you want to call them but you don't have their number. Then also know the allergies or medical conditions of the child or children you are babysitting because that's important. You know, you bring over peanuts, the kid's allergic to peanuts and dies. Wouldn't be the best situation, you know? So, okay. Then know how many kids it is and kids there are and what to expect, you know, as in if there's 10 kids and you can't handle that, you might want to know that before you get there. And also, like, if you're going to go swimming with the kids, if you're going to go walking 6 miles, what do you need to bring? You know, do you need to bring a bathing suit? Do you need to bring walking shoes and stuff like that? And also dress for any occasion. You know, I like to wear layers when I babysit. That way, if I'm babysitting in the morning till the afternoon and it gets hot in the afternoon, I can just take off my jacket and I won't be uncomfortable all day and I'll be comfy. And I usually just wear sweatpants and good walking shoes. Okay, and then also know about pets if they need any medication or need to be fed at any time. And know the expectations, like when the kids have to be in bed, when they shower, when they eat, stuff like that, because it's important to know their schedule because you're going to be taking care of them. And then also know the address of where you'll be babysitting, and that goes along with kind of know the expectations, know what snacks are, or that's not with that. Okay, but anyway, know what snacks are allowed, know what games and activities are allowed, and know the rules on what the parents do to enforce good behavior. Yeah, I was trying to think, like, what do I say? Yeah, so like if they, you know, spank the kids, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But like, you know, if they give them timeouts, you know, you want to know that because you don't want to just let the kids get away with everything when they're with you because then they're just going to take advantage of you. You want to lay down the law, but still be nice to the kids, obviously. Okay, then the next huge tip is be responsible. And that means being on time. Don't just blowing off the job, dressing like respectfully and responsibly. You know, don't wear, you know, a skirt and then be like, oh, sorry, I can't, you know, do stuff with the kid because I'm in a skirt. You know, that's kind of with being prepared, but just be responsible. You know, don't expect like, oh, like I have to leave at 3 and then the kid's mom is gone till 5 and then you leave the kid there. I mean, just be responsible and smart about it. Be a good example with the little kids. That's being responsible. You have to be responsible by, you know, not using bad language around them because they're children. Keep your eye on the kids. You are babysitting. Like, I feel like some people are texting or they're, you know, on Facebook. It's like, you can't do that. You're babysitting. You know, if the kid's asleep and they've been for 3 hours, you know, you want to check on them once in a while, but you can go on Facebook, okay? But you have to be responsible. It's someone else's life, and, you know, it's important. It's not just like, oh yeah, whatever, they'll do whatever. You have to be responsible, keep your eyes on them, make sure they're, you know, not getting into trouble or getting hurt, and take it seriously because it is a life, you know. I love having fun, but when I'm babysitting, I realize that I want to have fun, but I also need to take it seriously because it is a job and a life. And also be responsible, clean up after yourself, or if the kid doesn't clean up, make them clean it up, but if they're just being crazy and, you know, whatever, or if they like fall asleep or something, clean up just because no parent wants to come home from a late night or a meeting or a business trip to find their kid going crazy and then a mess all over the house. So if you eat something, clean it up. If the kid's like painting on the walls, clean it up. Um, um, Oh, another thing, and these are just kind of random tips too. Play games outside and coloring are really good ways to entertain the kids, along with playing hide and seek, board games, coloring. I already said that. Go to a movie, make lunch or dessert because kids like baking, as do I. That sounded really weird. Play outside. I already said that too. Why are these things written down twice? Sing songs. Just oh, and more. Okay. Dance, play with jewelry, play with dolls, action figures, read out loud, dress up, play cards like Go Fish and Old Maid and that kind of stuff, puzzles, crafts, chalk, and just with balls like basketball, stuff like that. Sorry, this is kind of choppy because I have it written down on like my list on my computer, so I'm just reading it. So yeah, those are things to do that should have been after this. But yeah, so then some more random tips are stay calm in an emergency because children will panic if you do. So that's really important. I learned that when I went to CPR class because if you're freaking out because one of the kids are like, you know, throwing up, then the other kid's going to start screaming and stuff like that. So yeah, those were all my tips for babysitting. I'm sorry this video was so choppy. It's because, you know, like I said, I was reading it and then some of the stuff was in the wrong place, but I'm sure you guys get the idea. If you have any questions about babysitting or about jobs in general, don't hesitate to ask me. I would love to answer them. You know, I'm not a professional babysitter, but I do have some experience because I've been doing it for a year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video and I'll talk to you later. Bye!